Kore Mwapenduka, and welcome to Africa Good Morning, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest news in Africa and beyond. My name is Glenora Shipura, joined by Diana Master. Good morning.
Good morning, Mamukasi.
What was
Tamuka.
it? Tamuka. I'm learning. I'm getting there.
You're learning. Glenn, yes. You've known me for a while now. I'm fluent in Shona.
No, but Kora. Also, you don't know. No. Yeah, we need to educate each other.
We definitely do. Let's get into what you can expect in today's broadcast. 8 dead in South Africa shooting at men's hostel near Durban. Gaddafi's son goes on hunger strike, and global airlines more than double 2023 profit outlook. We'll also be crossing over to Zambia, and Mike Sichila will give us the latest news from that side. Stick around, we'll be back with our top stories right after this break.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry, with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
Today is the 6th of June 2023, and here are your top stories. 8 dead in South Africa shooting at men's hostel near Durban. Gunmen burst into a room at a men's hostel near the eastern South African city of Durban, killing 8 people and leaving 2 others injured, police said on Sunday, in the latest mass shooting in the country. 7 men were declared dead immediately after the shooting in the pre-dawn hours of Saturday in the Umlazi township, and 8 men died on Sunday, police said. Now 2 others are hospitalized with injuries, and they include a man who jumped out of the window of the hostel room to escape the gunfire. Police said that 12 men were in the room drinking alcohol when numerous gunmen broke in, shot at them, and then fled. 2 of the men in the room were unhurt. South Africa is among the 10 countries with the highest homicide rates in the world, and there has been a spate of mass shootings in recent years. At least 2 mass shootings were reported earlier this year.
Now, Africa's biggest economies experiencing the slowest growth. A new report by the McKinsey Economic Consultancy has shown that Africa's biggest economies, including South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, are experiencing the slowest growth on the continent. Acha Leke, a senior partner with McKinsey, said the growth in the past was driven by resources and there's a need to pivot to productivity growth. The report showed that the performance of these economies had slowed the overall growth on the continent. He said if you look at growth over 10 years, it has grown at 3.3%, which isn't good when you look at population growth, but there is huge variation within Africa. The report added that the continent's consistently growing economies The report added that the continent's consistently growing economies have been driven by East Africa, Rwanda in particular. More recently, some countries in West Africa, such as Ivory Coast, have experienced a surge in growth.
In our next story, Gaddafi's son goes on a hunger strike. One of the surviving sons of the former Libyan leader, Muammar Gaddafi, has gone on a hunger strike to protest against his prolonged detention in Lebanon, says his lawyer, Paul Ramanos. Hannibal Gaddafi has been held in Lebanon for more than 8 years after being abducted by Lebanese militants from Syria, where he had taken refuge after the downfall and death of his father, he adds. Hannibal Gaddafi was subsequently taken by the Lebanese authorities and has been detained ever since in jail in Beirut without trial, Mr. Ramanos says.
Now, Ugandan dance sensations, the Ghetto Kids, have missed out on swiping one of the top 3 spots in the epic showdown of Britain's Got Talent. Made up of 6 minors aged between 6 and 13, hailing from humble beginnings in Uganda's vibrant capital, Kampala. Against all odds, their guardian-turned-manager, Dauda Kavuma, scooped them up and showered them with care. The Ghetto Kids strutted their stuff among the creme de la creme of talent, making it to the esteemed group of 10 finalists. Ultimately, the victory crown was snatched by Vigo Vern, a side-splitting 33-year-old comedian all the way from Norway. 13-year-old dancer Liliana Clifton secured the run-up position, while Magic Maestro 14-year-old wizard Cillian O'Connor secured 3rd place. They were already rising stars, boasting millions of views on their electrifying YouTube channel, even before gracing the illustrious UK talent show stage. In fact, they even had the incredible opportunity to feature in a mind-blowing music video alongside the renowned US Moroccan rap sensation French Montana back in 2017. So while the Ghetto Kids may have missed the ultimate triumph, their journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. They've wowed us with their infectious moves and proven that true talent knows no boundaries.
Wrapping up our top stories, giant catfish caught in Italy's longest river. Alessandro Biancarti, a staff member of Medcat Italia, the catfishing brand of DAM Germany, could not believe his eyes when he caught a huge catfish in the waters of Italy's longest river. The fish, measuring 2 meters and 85 centimeters, was caught by Biancarti after 40 exhausting minutes of trying. Guys, this is a Guinness World Record. I never expected to be able to make a catch like this solo, he said. After photos and measurements were taken, the giant catfish was put back into the river. Now I released this beautiful fish, Biancarti said in the video, giving a little caress to the monstrous fish before letting him swim free.
That is truly touching, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, stick around. We'll be back with news from Zambia on the other side of this short commercial break.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
We now cross over to Zambia, speaking to our correspondent, Mike Sichula. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, thank you. Africa, good morning.
Now, in your first story, can you bring us up to speed in the ongoing data cleaning exercise of land title deeds by the Ministry of Lands? What is the latest on this?
Yes, the Zambian government and a French organization have been conducting the issuance of title deeds, because most properties in Zambia do not sit on title, and the process has been because to just get a title deed, it's a really cumbersome steps. So the ministry has also been conducting an ongoing data cleaning exercise of 1 million title deeds in the country. And so far, they have uncovered that over 500,000 titles which are missing critical data. So according to the Minister of Lands, Elijah Muchima, says the 500,000 title deeds have neither national registration cards, email or phone numbers missing, making it difficult to verify them. So this is a challenge, because the Ministry of Lands is also piloting a digital system of keeping data from the manual. So there have been this transition, and it is through this transition that they have discovered that a number of title deeds are missing critical information. So this has raised concern amongst members of the public who think maybe it can be one way of depriving them of their title deeds for their properties. So this process is ongoing, and the ministry has assured members of the public not to panic or worry, but everything is going to be done that their title is secured.
All right, now moving on, the United States government has pledged to help Zambia attain the targeted 3 million metric ton annual copper production. Please tell us about this.
Yeah, not long ago, Zambia used to be the #1 African copper producer on the continent. But this, in the last 3 years, has changed because the Democratic Republic of Congo has overtaken Zambia. And this, when the new administration came into office, they pledged to increase copper production by at least 3 million metric tons annually. So far, Zambia is producing less than 1 million tons annually of copper. So the United States government has committed to help Zambia explore the geological reserve base as it works towards attaining the 3 million tons annual copper production. So this was said by U.S. Deputy Special Presidential Coordinator for Global Infrastructure and Energy, who says that the 3 million target is an ambitious project for Zambia, which also requires increased exploration. So it is one of the plans that the United States government wants to assist Zambia to enable Zambia reach its target producing 3 million metric tons of copper annually. So there are a number of companies that have withheld copper production because of legal issues, and also some other companies do not have equity partners. So the copper production has gone down, and as you know, copper is one of the biggest forest earner for Zambia. So a reduction in it usually creates a lot of unemployment on the copper belt, which is the mining giant of Zambia.
All right. Now moving on to your next story. We understand that authorities have banned the selling of alcohol in markets and bus stations nationwide. What's going on there?
Yes, according to a ministerial directive in a letter dated 31st May 2023 addressed to all town clerks and council secretaries, Minister of Local Government Gary Nkombo says selling of beer in bus stations and markets is a contravention of the Markets and Bus Stations Act. So what has been going on is that because there's a lot of street vending and in the central business district, as well as bus stations, there are a lot of people that are doing different businesses here and there. So one of the things that has taken toll is the selling of beer in bus stations and markets, which in some cases leads to violence, leads to illicit activities taking center stage. So this has raised concern amongst the on government. It is because of this that the government has directed local authorities to ensure that illegal selling of alcohol is contained and brought to an end by revoking any person who might have gotten a license to sell liquor in a market illegally or using dubious means, so that the vice can be brought under control. As I speak to you, when you walk into any business bus station in Zambia, any market, you'd find that almost everywhere alcohol is being sold. And you know the repercussions of alcohol on health. It is something that is also costly on government if it is not controlled at the earliest possible time.
All right. Now, finally, Angola has requested Zambia to send 200 medical personnel from various categories to provide services. Can you give us the details, please?
Yes. The memorandum of understanding between the ministries of health of the two countries was signed in March this year. So Zambia's ambassador to Angola, Lawrence Chilanga Ngumana, has told ZNBC News in Lusaka in Angola that the medical personnel are expected to start work once all formalities are completed. So Zambia sending medical personnel to Angola is one way of providing employment to many health personnel who have graduated but have not been employed by the central government because of lack of space, and also due to lack of Treasury Authority to employ. Last year, the Zambian government employed close to 11,000 medical personnel, but the people that are unemployed in the medical industry, in the medical sector, are over 40 to 45,000. So you can imagine that number. So Angola coming on board to request for 200 medical personnel is something that is going to reduce that number in the medical sector where people are not employed.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sishula, for bringing us up to speed with the latest news from that side.
Thank you so much, Africa. Good morning. Do have a lovely week. Thank you.
All right, now moving on, investing in Namibia not only promises significant financial returns, but also presents an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution to our society and environment. This was the message of Dr. Akshay Tulsian, Honorary Consul of Namibia to India, during an engagement session by the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. Let's take a look.
As an Honorary Consul of Namibia to India, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here today. Your presence here is a testament to the strong economic ties between India and Namibia. And we are grateful for the trust and confidence you have shown in our country. And yes, I'm speaking more like a Namibian, because that's my role right here, right now. And it's more for my delegates and less for the people who are from here. Various industries in Namibia, like agriculture, fisheries, tourism, manufacturing, renewable energy, and mining industry, have been a part of the tremendous growth graph in the past few years, opening doors for various investors and enthusiasts who want to be a part of this great civilization growth. As of March 2023, the potential investment worth of Namibian stands at $161 billion, with promising financial returns to industrialists. But the benefits of investing in Namibia go beyond financial return. Our country is renowned for its breathtaking natural beauty, diverse wildlife, and rich cultural heritage. Namibia has become a top destination for tourists from around the world, and the tourism industry has emerged as a key contributor to our economic growth. Investing in Namibia's tourism industry not only promises significant financial returns, but also presents an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution to our society and environment. We are committed to sustainable tourism development, which ensures that our natural and cultural resources are preserved for future generations. We are confident together we can build a brighter future for our countries and our people.
What we want to do is say, if our investors, for example, yes, some of them are already importing something into Namibia or into Africa. And what we want to do is, what is the possibility that some of those products can be manufactured in Namibia for Namibia, and eventually in Namibia for Africa, and in Namibia for the world. That is what we do here at the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, and that's what our focus is. So yes, trade is important to Namibia. We have got the Ministry of Trade. It facilitates and promotes trade, but our focus is really to facilitate and promote investment. And yes, many times when we do that, we will also have people that are focused on trade that will be part of the delegation. And sometimes it is actually trade activities that eventually becomes investment activities, because sometimes a potential investor will first want to test the market. Will the market accept my product before I produce? If I'm already exporting, then definitely I know the market will accept my. You will not be the first in the relationship between Namibia and India. There is already an established relationship between Namibia and India, which goes long back. So trade activities, we say here, that is really our export to India, that our import from India, and that is the trade account between Namibia and India. So if you look at how much we import from India and how much we export from India, you can see we import quite a bit from India. And like I said, that picture will not only be a Namibian picture, it will be an African picture.
Let's now take a look at the sports package with Ari Hogat.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news first. It is week 2 of the French Open at Roland Garros in Paris this week. Exciting tennis coming up with the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the finals this coming weekend. Firstly, in the men's division, it is Stefanos Tsitsipas, the number 5 seed from Greece. He is through to the quarterfinals. He beat Sebastian Orfer in 3 sets easily, and he now needs to face the number 1 seed, that is Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. That will be in the quarterfinals, and it's Alcaraz that beat Lorenzo Musetti of Italy convincingly by 6-3, 6-2 and 6-2. Also, it is Novak Djokovic, the number 3 seed. He is through to the quarterfinals as well, and he's not dropped a set yet in the tournament, and it might lead up to a semi-final with number 1 seed Carlos Alcaraz if both of them win their quarterfinals. In the women's division, it is Aryna Sabalenka, the number 2 seed of Belarus, that's through to the quarterfinals as well. And it's an interesting game coming up against Elina Svitolina. She is from the Ukraine, and it is tension-filled because of the Russian-Ukraine war. Of course, Belarus is also in the spotlight, giving assistance to Russia in the war against Ukraine. And in the previous rounds, it was Elina Svitolina from Ukraine that played against 2 players from Russia and didn't shake their hands at the net. And also Aryna Sabalenka denied to attend media conferences after her previous games, and she wanted to avoid all the media questions related to Russia and Ukraine war. So it's an interesting quarterfinal coming up that is between Aryna Sabalenka and Elina Svitolina. Also, the number 1 seed, Iga Swiatek, she's safely through to the quarterfinals as well. And it is also interesting games coming up in the women's side of the draw. Now, continuing with golf news on international sports news, and it was the Memorial Golf Tournament that was concluded in America. At Muirfield, it was hosted by Jack Nicklaus. A big win for Victor Hovland of Norway, and he moves up in the world rankings as well. He beat Danny McCarthy of United States in a playoff to win the tournament. It's Hovland that now is in the top 5 in the world rankings. He moves up from number 7 to number 5. Also, Danny McCarthy, he moves up from number 55 in the world rankings, and he's now number 35 in the world. World number 1, Scotty Scheffler, he finished 3rd in the tournament on -6. World number 2, John Rahm, also had a good tournament. He was tied for 6th at the Memorial, and then Rory McIlroy was tied for 7th in the tournament. The best placed South African or Southern African in the tournament was Garrick Hugo of South Africa. He was tied 30th on a score of 2 over par for the 4 rounds. And on the European Tour, on the DP World Tour, it is the European Open that was played in Hamburg. The winner there is Tom McKibben. He is just 20 years old. He's from Northern Ireland, and a big win for him as well. Also assisting his world rankings quite a lot. He moves up from number 335 in the world rankings. He is now 162 in the world. And closing off today's international sports news with cricket news, and it's a much anticipated Ashes series that's going to start on the 16th of June. That's at Edgbaston, that is between England and Australia. But both teams have injury concerns. In fact, it is England that have confirmed.
All right, those were some of the top stories in the world of sport. Now, if you're just joining us, let's take a look at the highlights, just in case you need a quick recap. Here are the news highlights. Africa's biggest economy is experiencing the slowest growth. What's in the proposed global plastics treaty? Gaddafi's son goes on hunger strike. 8 dead in South Africa shooting at men's hostel near Durban.
And with that, we've come to the end of our show. Do remember that you can catch Africa Good Morning tomorrow, same time, same place. From me, Glenn Rashipura.
And Diana Master, we wish you a lovely Tuesday ahead.